Hello guys and welcome back to another video. This one came a little late than I wanted because of my trip to Paris. My editing schedule was all over the place, but better late than never, right? So today we're updating the books I read in October, and I have to say that was a lot. I read a total of 6 books, starting with Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton, which I gave 5 stars. The rest of the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey, all 5 stars as well. And Good Game by Madison Fox, which unfortunately I gave almost 4 stars. I'm really close to my reading goal, and I only have 4 more books on my maybe next or TBR, which I probably won't read them. Maybe The Sweetest Oblivion, but not sure yet. I made some progress on my alphabet challenge with letter A and G. A for All the Lies, the 4th book in the Mindfuck series, and G for Good Game. Then on my bingo, I colored in the space for Set During a Holiday because Painted It All Red, the final book in the Mindfuck series, is set on Halloween. And then I didn't like the cover for the red color in the Rainbow Challenge, so I changed it to Good Game. I also updated my series tracker. I added the black tie billionaires for black ties and white lies, the system for good game, and updated the mindfuck series so it's completed. For those who don't know, this reading log is where I put the name of the book, the author, the number of pages, the days I start and finish a book, and also the rating. I don't really do anything with these stats, but it's cool to see all collected, and then in my yearly stats that I'm going to do in December, I can see the total of everything. And if I want to see any book in specific, I can look to this page for reference. I'm running out of space in my reading log, so I use these scraps from when I make Dutch doors, cut them to size, and basically what I'm going to do is continue the table onto that spare parts. I forgot to color every second line, but it's fine, I can do that later. I just taped with some washi tape. I used one that is more transparent so I can see what's beneath it. I don't have spare pages to do another one of these spreads, and I didn't want to tape another page on the side because then I couldn't continue the table. So this was the best solution to this problem. Now it's time for the general reviews. This space is for my thoughts on the book. Just the cover, title, author, if it's part of a series or standalone, the pages numbers again, the genre, if it's romance, thriller, fantasy, etc., and the format, if I read it on paperback, ebook, or audiobook, which I never do, and then the final review, just a few sentences. I'm going to continue to use this format for my reviews in my next reading journal for 2025, which I already made the setup. Stay tuned for December. I'm only going to change the review for each book. So instead of making a page for the quotes and the other page for the aesthetic of the book, I think I'm going to try and make each spread its own with decorations and lettering titles. I don't know, just to change a little bit because I found that the format I'm doing now it's a little boring. After doing it so many times, it's the perfect opportunity to use more of my stationery, so basically I'm getting inspiration from Mochibujo and Erin Smith. I'll link both their channels down below. They make such gorgeous spreads and I think I'm going to try it. Since I actually did this on my 2023 reading journal that I didn't record, so it isn't new for me, but I think I'm going to try it again and see how it goes. I gave 5 stars to the whole Mindfuck series except the first one. I don't know why, so I'm going back to the third quarter reviews and add another star. So this whole series is a 5 star. And I think I have my favorite book of the year already, but we never know. Things can change, and I still have November and December to read more books, so we'll see. So for the October cover page, I knew I had to use this paper and this beautiful paper with this spooky design of a house with trees and the moon behind. So I just gathered the stationery that went well with this vibe and layer it. I wanted to keep it simple, not overwhelming the page with many things, so basically what I tried to maintain the focus on was the paper with the house and the sticker of the crow. I didn't really know what font to use for the title, so I went with a spooky lettering style. It's pretty much just making several lines on each letter and make them more pointy than round. Super simple and really quick to do. I used the brown fine liner, and since I didn't want to cover the paper behind, I used the transparent paper. . For the calendar is the same layout as always. It's the only thing that remains consistent throughout all the months in this reading journal. I only changed the colors to match each theme. I use this calendar to basically represent visually how much time I spend reading each book. Again, just for fun, not for stats or anything because I already have that time frame on my reading log. So this is just for aesthetic and because I'm a visual person. I also use this idea from Erin Smith again. I just don't write the titles on the calendar itself like she does. I write it on the bottom of the page just to keep the calendar more clear because it's pretty small. I was so focused on this that I didn't realize my camera stopped recording, but don't worry, it was just the final part of the calendar. But now we can move on to the book reviews, starting with Black Ties and White Lies. So this book follows Margot. She's a graphic designer on a pretty standard company. She's not really happy with her career and she broke up recently with her boyfriend. He cheated on her, so she's just trying to live a peaceful life. But that doesn't last because one day her ex's older brother, Beckham Sinclair, appears on her company and says to her that he's the new owner. She's obviously catched by surprise because why the hell would a Sinclair own her company? Well, he has some motives for that. He tells her that he bought the company because she wouldn't respond to his phone calls. So he became her new boss so he could talk to her. Yep, that's wild, but it doesn't stop there. He needs her to be his fake fiancée so he can change his reputation because if he doesn't, his company is in trouble. In exchange, he can talk to his friend, a famous designer which she's a fan of, and maybe he can see her work. I really loved this book, it was so much fun, and also the interactions between them in the past are so wholesome. They aren't enemies by any means, but Margot is in denial, not Beckham. He's head over heels for her. I mean, you just really need to read this book. If you like billionaires, romance, fake dating, and only one bad trope, this is perfect for you. I also really connected to Margot because I'm also a graphic designer, and I really related to many things that she said. This book also has a good plot twist. I did see coming, but if I wasn't so focused, I would probably be a little bit surprised. But otherwise, I really liked all the characters except the ex-boyfriend. Even Beckham's parents are really good. Wasn't expecting that at all, but they were. So 5 stars for me. Next is the rest of the Mindfuck series, the second to the fifth book. They are Sidetracked, Scarlet Angel, All the Lies, and Painted All Red. I read the first one, which is The Risk, in September, and I really liked it, so I had to finish this series for sure. I'm going to talk about this series as only one book, so it's easier to talk about the story. So, as I said in my reading update back in September, this story follows Lana, which is a serial killer, but not a typical serial killer. She is on a mission to kill all the men that killed her brother, her father, and almost killed her as well, 10 years ago. And she's being helped by her best friend Jake, which helps with the technical and hacking part of the plan, while she does the dirty part. One day she encounters Logan. and he's a profiler for the FBI, and funnily enough, he's the one in charge of her case. They start a relationship and things get complicated. This is not a spoiler, by the way, it happens pretty much in the beginning of the first book. I literally cried while reading this book, and I have to say that the only other time that I cried this bad was with Hunting Adeline, the second book of the Cat and Mouse duet. And if you know what happens in that book, you can guess what happens in this one. It was really bad, and I already knew that this was going to be really dark, but it still really hurt me to have to read about it. Lana is such an awesome character, morally gray, really strong, but she's not only the killer, she's also a human and feels love and sadness like a normal person. And during the final book, he's revealed the original villain of the story, the person that caused all the problems, and I have to say that this person never even crossed my mind as the culprit, like at all. And the gives you little signs about it, but when it was revealed, it really catch me by surprise. I love how the author shows in this story that everyone has morals, and sometimes doing the wrong thing is actually justice. And the way that Logan's team was starting to doubt if they were wrong, and Lana, the killer at the time that they didn't know the name, was right in getting justice with her own hands, I absolutely loved the way that Lana was telling her story to the FBI only by her actions and the mind puzzle that she left for them. And I like that sometimes not all the people that has to be punished get their sentence, which was sad but realistic, and I really liked the ending. It was fitting for both Lana, Logan, Jake, and all the other good characters. This series is at the top for me, along with the Cat and Mouse duet. Really recommend it if you can handle heavy themes and really gruesome details, so be aware of the warnings. And unfortunately, this author passed away in 2021, so it's sad that we won't get another series like this one. And the final book that I read in October was Good Game. I liked this book, but it wasn't mind blowing. I mean, I didn't expect it to be, but I don't know how to describe it. I think I was expecting a little bit more. I liked the main characters, but at the same time, I didn't. It's weird to say this, but the plot twist wasn't there because even in the beginning I guessed it and it was correct, so it didn't have the surprise factor. I was already expecting it. I'm literally ranting about the book without the story, so here it goes. The book follows Stevie. She's an artist and she's rich, and she also broke up with her cheating boyfriend. This seems to be the theme of October, so she's enjoying the single life, and one day she's recruited to work as a waitress on a gaming event, and that's where she meets Blade, a famous masked streamer, and they have that tension between them. But it's just that night, not anything serious, and they both go their separate ways. Then, on another day, Stevie crashes into a car. Nothing major, not even a scratch, but she goes out of the car to see, and then she meets Alexander, which she doesn't know, but he's Blade. He recognizes her and it sees the opportunity to talk to her and get to know her, so they get in touch and begin to talk. While this happens, she's also being stalked by someone she thinks is her boyfriend, her ex boyfriend actually, And so the mystery begins. So this is the story, and it's okay, but the way she falls for both Blade and Alexander is weird for me because she isn't in a real relationship with Alexander yet, but she lusts over Blade, and even though they are the same person, it's weird for me because it almost looks like she's cheating on Alexander. Maybe it's just me, I didn't really like that. But I'm really excited to read Forbidden Game and Fake Game. I think I'm going to like them much more for both the characters and the way I already saw the interactions between these other couples. I mean, not couples yet. So we'll see how it goes. It's time for the final flip through. I never read so many books in a month before. They were short, but it counts as well. If you enjoyed watching this video, like and subscribe, it helps me so much. And tell me in the comments if you read Good Game, and if you did, tell me if you liked it or if you didn't. I need to see if I'm just weird or maybe I'm right. I'm reaching the end of this journal. It's getting really chunky. I only have a few pages left. I hope they are enough for November and December. So maybe I'll just have to squeeze the remaining books if I need to. I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!